everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Neelam Ahuja. You can also find me on Instagram at neelam.ahuja. I'm going to talk to you about the Row Patch knee-high boot. There are two patch boots. One is the knee-high and one is sort of the mid-calf, a little higher than an ankle, and I think they call that the square toe patch. This is the knee-high patch. It is a gorgeous boot, and I think it deserves a little spot here on my YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about the general style and sizing and pricing and availability. So let's get on with it. The style of the boot is very 90s inspired with this gorgeous square toe. The heel is short, it's a block heel. I think it's around 2.5 inches. The sole is nice and hard, and the leather is quite soft. If you're concerned about scratches, this is going to scratch, that's my guess. But, I mean, it's a boot. I'm not sure how you're going to prevent that. You just have to be a little more delicate with it, I guess. It has a beautiful side zip, concealed side zip. It's really, really elegant in that way. A couple of seams, one running down the back and one on the side. Sizing. I had originally tried the shorter version and they fit large to size. Not a whole size large, but definitely a half size large. I tried the 6.5. I was swimming in them, and so I tried the 6, and it was just a perfect boot because for the fall, maybe you want to have a little sock. And I ordered 6.5, so I ordered the 6, thinking, well, it's the patch boot and it'll fit the same, but it doesn't. I wouldn't say that these are too tight, but I think I would prefer my true size. And there are a couple things I'll say about that. So I think when we look at a square toe, we automatically assume that we can go down a half size because your foot is going to come right to the front and sit at the front. So you think you're going to be able to get away with it, which if you have a narrow foot for this style, you absolutely could get away with a half size smaller, only if you can't find your true size. But I would recommend getting your true size because it'll be more comfortable. I have a very narrow foot, and this is the 6 and I fit the 6, but I have a very narrow calf and a thin leg. The problem is I don't really have a high instep, and I had to pull a bit to get my foot in to the boot, even with the zipper all the way down, and that is unusual for me. I've not really had that problem before, and I think it's meant to be that way so that it just kind of not grips, but wraps nicely around your leg. Then I started considering what would it be like if I had a wider foot, if I had a higher instep and I couldn't get into the boot. You'd absolutely need your true size. Pricing for this boot is it's steep. It's $19.50 before taxes. The shorter version is about $13.50, so both are a pretty big investment. I've looked around at a lot of boots, and I really do love these. I think that the quality is, like with anything else by the Row, it's stellar. So that is dictating the price, as is the name, and there's not much you can do to get around that. Styling, I think that if you're 5'2", they're a little trickier to style. They look great on the girls that can tuck their trousers into them and look, it's a really nice look, but I think you need to be a bit taller to do that. So I'm not sure that works for me, and I'll show you what it looked like. Maybe you can decide if you like that look. If you're 5'2", and this is what it's going to look like with a midi skirt, very, very pretty. I think ideally you want the entire boot to show. So either you're going to do a skirt with a slit in it, or you're going to do a shorter skirt. I don't wear short skirts as much anymore, so I'm not sure that works for me. And then I really need to consider, if I'm not wearing short skirts and you're not seeing much of the shaft of the boot with my midi skirts, and I can only wear them with trousers and I don't feel my best, is it worth it for me to get this boot, or should I then maybe get the mid-calf? That's where I'm at. But of all the boots that I've seen, and I've been looking for a boot like this outside of a riding boot that is flat, and those, pardon me while I let this bird have its moment. I think a riding boot is a really nice boot to have in your closet, and I don't have that right now, so I'm still looking. But I think maybe because I've strayed away from heels for a couple of years, I'm longing to wear a heel again, and not a big heel. I could never go back to that, but a heel like this that's just classy and functional, and I can walk around in it, but it gives me just that little bit of height. Your legs look longer. of all the boots that I've seen, this checks all the boxes. It's got beautiful leather. I like that the zipper is concealed. I love that the toe is square because I'm just gravitating towards that 90s vibe and feel lately. And it actually does fit my leg quite nicely. So there you have it. That is your patch knee-high boot review.